I'm Jordan Lambropoulos and I have Crohn's disease. For the past 10 years, I've been in and out of hospital, racked by pain. I've had multiple surgeries and cried myself to sleep, more times than I want to remember. The Women's and Children's Hospital give whatever they possibly can to make a difference. Now I have a chance to give back, so please, support the TeamKids Easter Appeal.
Many people will be unfamiliar with T cells. Even fewer will know of CAR T. That's all about to change. Our own Lauren Krelsham is a person who does know about this new, leading-edge way to treat cancer. Lauren has benefited from this process and as a result is now cancer-free after 15 years of living with blood cancer. Here is her story.
My story starts when I was 7 years old, back in 2002. Like any other 7-year-old, I was full of hope. I was excited by what I could potentially do. And then I remember feeling really cold on a 40-degree day, like I'd be wearing jackets, and feeling really lethargic and nauseous. Doctors took a blood test and about, I think it was 30 minutes later or something, found out I had cancer. Mum was crying on the phone and I had no idea, and she was telling me I had to pack my bag to go to a hospital. Being a 7-year-old, the only thing you know of cancer is the old people from the Cancer Council ads on TV. So I thought, you know, that's it, I'm going to die. I went through 2 years of chemotherapy and basically sacrificed certain things so that I could get treatment. I was so sick with vomiting, diarrhea, feeling tired, losing hair. It was just a very scary time. And then with what the doctors say was textbook treatment, got back to being a normal kid, so to speak, and then was just finishing up year 7 and found out through routine blood tests that I have at the Women's and Children's. I had relapsed again. Because it was my second time round, I had a bone marrow transplant. Bone marrow transplant, you need to be in isolation for at least 100 days. So that was extremely hard. The recovery period was a long time before my immune system had fully recovered from that. There was a few complications, but we got there in the end. And ended up becoming that normal rebellious teenager. I'd always loved acting. I decided after that experience in my life to pursue acting as a career and to really follow my dreams because life was too short. That all went to plan. Managed to get into Adelaide College of the Arts, and then on my 3rd and final year of acting school, one weekend I had a blood nose that lasted for about an hour and a half. I thought perhaps it was because I was really run down. But then it clicked in my mind, oh, it's this again. I put up a strong face, but it was really hard to deal with. Obviously, 3rd time round, there's not much hope. We tried chemo, my body had basically become immune to it. I was stuck with a situation that no 20-year-old should have to face, and that was, well, they told me palliative care, which basically means we've got no other options for you, you're going to die. I remember feeling in my body, that's not right, that's not how this should end. I've got all these dreams, all these ambitions, you know, I can't just stop here. I didn't want to die in a hospital bed. I was 20. 20 is meant to be the age that you're, you know, growing up, you're learning to be you're being confident in yourself, you're pursuing careers, relationships. Here I was, stuck in hospital most of the time with no job, and I didn't want to die that way. Luckily, call it timing or perfect fate, this trial for the CAR T cells opened up. Today is the day 12 months ago that I received those CAR T cells, and here I am now, all better, enjoying life's moments, I guess, and enjoying what life has to offer me and getting back on track. My cancer came back as lymph nodes. I had these big bulges in my neck. About the 6th day after the CAR T cell transfusion, I woke up and they were gone. And within a month, there was no cancer. It was incredible, really, a bit of a miracle, to be honest.
Coming up is a story of one doctor who has played and continues to play a leading role around the world in the development of T-cell and CAR T research and treatment. He was recently in Adelaide meeting our team. Dr. Michael Jensen is a researcher who looks forward to a world without childhood cancer, and he should know. He's seen over 50 other miracles like Lauren's. We'll meet him next.
And it's my pleasure to introduce Mike Jensen to speak to us tonight.
I was invited to Australia to meet with other scientists and doctors in Adelaide who take care of children with cancer.
Thank you, Justin, and good evening, everyone.
And to begin a conversation around how we can work together to bring new treatments to save children's lives.
The evolution of cancer therapy in children, and as well as in many adult indications, has not evolved.
Cancer treatment can be as dangerous and scary as the disease itself. Some of the chemotherapy drugs that we still use actually are derivatives of chemical warfare drugs from World War I. Their function is like a bomb. It will destroy all dividing cells, the good and the bad. Children in particular need new forms of therapy that doesn't harm their body and gets them to a cure, and that's what we're working on.
Changing the paradigm in how we treat children with cancer.
Our research has focused on the potential to utilize the body's natural immune system that fights the common cold, and to be able to utilize that to fight cancer in children.
We made significant progress over the last 20 years.
The idea there is if we can train the immune system to rid the body of cancer, maybe we won't need to use radiation and chemotherapy and surgery in the future. The cells of the immune system, particularly a type of cell, a white blood cell called a T cell, which is really kind of the warrior cell to protect the body. These cells can go throughout our entire body and hunt down and get rid of infections. We got into the frame of mind of, well, how can we help a T cell be a warrior cell against cancer cells? And we've learned to genetically reprogram T cells, and that new program is go and hunt down cancer cells. What we found is that this can be remarkably effective.
2 years ago, I relapsed with leukemia. I was going to die. 12 months ago, I received the CAR T cell transfusion. They removed my immune system cells, genetically modified them to recognise my specific type of leukemia. and they got transfused to me, and since then, so far so good.
Lauren's story is common in that the success rate is over 90%. So that is not something that happens every day. In fact, it's so unusual to have a therapy so effective in the very first stages of the trials that's what's created this enormous attention and hope that this form of cancer immunotherapy can be a real breakthrough for children. What so many people deemed as impossible is happening. It's miraculous. It doesn't get old. You know, I've seen it happen now, over 50 times, and each new child that we treat on the trial that goes into remission, it's a brand new story, and it feels just as wonderful as all the rest. Cancer can be controlled and ideally cured with the immune system. The big question now is, can CAR T cells affect and induce remissions in types of cancer that we call solid tumors, such as breast cancer or colon cancer, prostate cancer, melanoma?
It's a very exciting time right now, both scientifically and in the clinic.
What we've learned from treating acute lymphoblastic leukemia in children has helped inform us about how to make the next version of CAR Ts that will work in neuroblastoma and brain tumors. And all of these types of treatments are imminently applicable to adults as well, so everyone can win. There's some very exciting research here in Adelaide that can help provide some of the parts for CAR Ts to work in solid tumors. And we're hoping to create a Seattle, Adelaide CAR T cell team that will be providing breakthroughs for children's solid tumors as well. What's so exciting about being here in Adelaide is both the enthusiasm and the capabilities of the scientists and the doctors here to really try to give this a go. The hope is that we can get all children a CAR T cell that could save their life, no matter what the name of their cancer is. We don't want to have the future be relegated to curing kids' cancers in mice. It's all about curing children. And the key ingredient for that, it's not that we don't have the designs, it's not that we don't have the experiments, it's not that we don't know how to make these CAR T cells to go back into patients. What really is holding us back is the funding to get this work done. And it's only through foundations like TeamKids and the generosity of the community that we're actually going to be able to get the prize of childhood cancer cures.
At some stage in our lives, all of us have known someone who's been at the hospital or perhaps had a personal experience there themselves. So please get on the phone and donate to help TeamKids in the fantastic work they do for the hospital.
I've been referred to as the singing engineer. More than once I've been caught singing to switchboards in the hospital. My name is Jim. I'm the manager of engineering. My official title is a strategic asset manager.
There isn't anything that I can
I was in an 80s band called Vertical Hold. We had a #1 record and a #3 record. Engineering is essential to the operation of the hospital, essential to make sure that there's a seamless operation day to day, which will allow obviously the best outcomes for all the patients.
because it's in
Women's and Children's Hospital, it's not just a hospital, it really is a community, and you appreciate the sense of family. Obviously, not by myself, I've got a fantastic team, but it really is a challenge in terms of what every day throws up. I'm still playing music, and we're actually on the first countdown live in the studio when Men at Work did Down Under for the first time, which was the 4th of December 1981.
When I was young, I could run faster than most of my schoolmates. But by the time I was 9, I was diagnosed with leukemia. The staff at the Women's and Children's Hospital always felt like a second family. They kept me going, they gave me hope that I had a future. I was given a second chance, and now I have a chance to give back. So please support the TeamKids Easter Appeal.
Dr. Simon Barry is a Senior Research Fellow at the Faculty of Health and Medical Sciences in the University of Adelaide. His background in molecular biology and gene discovery has led him to establish a collaborative research program in paediatrics. This allows him to support fundraising to develop the next phase of the amazing CAR-T technology that we've been exploring during the program. That next step is to move into the field of solid tumours. We talked to Dr. Barry and Dr. Justin Coombs about how TeamKids is supporting that research project.
Hi Simon and Justin, thanks for joining us today.
Hi Tara.
Hi, Tara.
We've heard from Dr. Mike Jensen about how CAR-T research is giving hope to all children with blood cancers. Tell us about your involvement in the introduction of CAR-T technology to Australia.
So a couple of years ago, Simon and I had set up a research program at the Women's and Children's Hospital here in Adelaide. What we were hoping to do was look at some technologies where we can take the amazing work that's happening with blood cancers out of groups like Mike's in the States and see if we can translate that into other childhood cancers.
So we're really very much in the earliest phases of trying to develop new CAR-Ts against all cancers rather than just the ones that are now working well against leukemias. One of the most exciting things in the last 5 or 6 years has been the ability of a T-cell to be reprogrammed to now recognise a cancer. That's been applied by these pioneering groups in the States, including Mike, and has been tested now in clinical trials in children. And those children have had remarkable success rates with that treatment, more so than has been seen in many other clinical trials.
In a recent clinical trial result that Mike's group has done, they've actually seen a complete response rate of 93%. What that actually means is more than 9 in 10 kids that were put into the trial saw their leukemia actually disappear to the point that it was undetectable after they were treated.
How unreal. How will the current treatment that Dr. Jensen described be available to patients in SA?
We're building a relationship with the Jensen group via our research, so we're looking to work together with them to develop these new CAR-T cells that we're talking about. And of course what our hope is into the future is that we will be able to expand this relationship just from a research one to a clinical one, where we may actually be able to use the research relationship as a basis to actually bring the existing, say, leukemia therapies to Adelaide.
We can learn from Mike, and so we can try not to make mistakes that he might have already made, and that'll allow us to get this, hopefully from research into preclinical, much faster.
What is the next step for this technology?
So the next step for us now is to take the early results that we've had in the lab and start testing our new CAR-T cells against a range of other cancer cells to see if our theory holds. Coupled with that is we want to go beyond the lab as well. We want to start moving into these preclinical models that have formed the basis for potentially moving these things into humans if all goes well. A big part of what we want to do is work with the world leaders in the field and try and fast track our research as much as possible. What
might the future for childhood cancer look like as a result of the CAR-T technology?
So I think this is something which is very exciting. It has been so effective in this very specific childhood cancer that the real hope now is that if the CAR-Ts can be made to recognise many other cancer types, it opens all of those cancers up to the same types of therapy and success rate. If that was successful, it would revolutionise the impact of cancer on people's lives.
How can people at home get behind research that will make all of this happen?
So TeamKids has been a supporter of our research program here in Adelaide from the very beginning. Of course now what we're moving beyond is answering sort of the simple preliminary questions to see if this works at all, and now getting to the more complicated ones of, well, how many different cancers is this likely to work in, what is the safety profile of it, and that involves a lot of arduous work. So of course we need further support to keep this work going, and if people want to help, the best way they can do that is actually help TeamKids and make donations to the Easter Appeal.
You know, we need to engage highly qualified professionals with expertise in the experiments we need to conduct. If we want to try to be fast, we need to have more people working on the project. And that's one way that TeamKids can really help, because if we can accelerate the research, we will find out sooner whether or not this is likely to then translate.
Oh, this is all such interesting research. So thank you so much, Simon and Justin, for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tara.
They answer the call in times of emergency and protect our shores when needed. But members of our police, firefighters, Army and Air Force have a very different challenge as they step up to pull a fire truck over 70 metres on the famous Clipsal 500 pit straight. It's a bold challenge, but as we'll see, lots of fun too, as they compete to raise funds for the TeamKids Easter Appeal.
Our South Australian Police and the Australian Army regularly work hand in hand to keep our communities safe. But today, they're on opposite sides of a very different kind of challenge. To pull a fully loaded 13,000 kilo fire truck a gruelling 70 metres and across the finish line. It's all for a fantastic cause, the TeamKids Easter Appeal. This race between the police and the army is the first of 2 heats today.
Hi, I'm Drew. I'm from Cots for Kids. When my son was born, he had some medical issues, and we spent a considerable amount of time in the Women's and Children's. And whilst I was there, I saw the way that the Women's and Children's help out so magnificently with families of sick children. Going off against the Army first off. We've already had our warm-up. We saw the Air Force and the Army doing their warm-up, doing their exercises and things like that.
Hoist it. 1, 2, 3, 1, and hey.
We're from 7RER from RAF Base Edinburgh, and we've been invited here today to help support the TeamKids Easter Appeal. We always hope we're going to win. We've seen the competition, they look quite impressive. Whatever happens will happen, but we'll give it our best.
Hi teams, on behalf of TeamKids, welcome to the TeamKids Easter Appeal Fire Engine Pull, heat number 1. When you hear the sirens, it's time to start, so let's take up the slack on your ropes and let's have a fair fight.
And the winner of the first heat is the police team, with the Army a close second.
We almost caught him up at the end, almost. Wasn't too far behind.
LT1, how good's that? So it was really, really exciting. It was so close though. The Army did such a great job.
Oh, it looks like we saved too much in the tank for the end, and we ran out of track. I think if we had a bit more distance, we would have caught him, but oh well, that's how the cookie crumbles.
TeamKids needs your help. Call this number 1800 336 334.
Hi, I'm Jackie. I'm the Director for Aboriginal Health in the Women's and Children's Health Network. The division that I manage provides strategic advice to the Women's and Children's. Our job is to support our Aboriginal workforce in the Women's and Children's Health Network. I'm a Crows fan. The Crows are going to win this year. Footy, like food, brings people together, brings families together. People have things in common, that different teams. It creates an environment where people come together. That's what's good about it. I've worked across South Australia in a number of roles, and I've worked in the Northern Territory, and I've always been blessed with good staff. They're very competent, they're very loyal, always good to work with people who've got those skills. I love my job. Someone once asked how long I've been working in Aboriginal health, and I said I've always worked in Aboriginal health and I always will work in Aboriginal health.
I'm Mark Bolton from Telstra, and we're here for the launch for the very first day of the Telstra TeamKids Castle.
Everyone is invited to come and buy a brick or a barrel of bricks or a pallet of bricks. They get to decorate it themselves. It's all fundraising towards the TeamKids Easter Appeal, which is a telethon on Good Friday, and you get to come and help us build it.
Telstra are a corporate partner of our TeamKids Easter Appeal. All of the Telstra staff, they're really excited about this. They're buying bricks for $20 a brick. Anyone can come down, decorate the brick, write on their brick, put a message on their brick. So as we head towards the Easter Appeal, we'll build the wall, build the castle and make it look really fantastic.
The counter's ticking right now. Look, I've personally contributed 4 bricks, so we're expecting, a big tally from the Telstra team. There's a lot more we can do, there's no question about that.
At the moment, we've just hit the 1,000 mark, but obviously it's only been a couple hours, so it's all happening very quickly.
Okay.
The whole project is fundraising for the TeamKids Beach House project, which is creating a purpose-built holiday beach house that different families that have kids that maybe they usually couldn't go on holiday with because they have special needs will be able to go and be comfortable and close to a hospital and be able to create some really good memories together.
We've been supporting TeamKids for 3 years now. It's our #1 charity in South Australia, and we're very proud of their sponsorship. So today we're doing the Kids Easter Appeal in Telstra House. We've got our call centre all set up and ready to go, waiting for calls to come in. We just want to give back to this organisation, and we're asking people to actually contribute during this wonderful day.
Over the past week, our good friends at Chibo Espresso have stepped up for the Easter Appeal with a special idea that gave customers the opportunity to join in the donation drive. Jordan spoke to 2 Chibo champions who helped bring the project to life.
Hi Tanya and Tony.
Hi, Jordan.
Tell us a bit about yourself and about your cafe.
The cafe started in 2004, so this is our 13th year, and it's in a nice old heritage listed building in the heart of Moseley Square. And yeah, we're very proud of our little business there, so very happy.
So how did Chibo Espresso fundraise for the TeamKids Easter Appeal?
Yeah, so we decided to donate 10 cents from every coffee that is made over the campaign. We're hoping to raise $20,000, but we won't know until the tally is all done at the end of it.
We thought as a group this would be great, and especially our store where we love to fundraise and help others. We've been involved over the many years. This was it's actually a privilege to be able to do this. We're honoured, and any way we can help.
So how have your customers responded to your decision to support TeamKids?
Oh, they got behind us. They are just so loyal. We have some amazing customers throughout the whole Chibble group, but especially our Glenelg customers. They think it's fantastic, and of course it is. You're helping others, and that's just probably one of the best feelings you could ever do.
That's so wonderful to hear, a whole community rallying around to support a great cause.
Yeah, definitely a great cause.
You've been involved in a lot of fundraising in the past, so where does that passion come from?
It's pretty much a legacy from my grandfather. We've been fundraising, all our lives basically, and and now Tony, we've been together for a long time, and Tony's taken on the role as well.
She's brushed it on to me now. So, yeah. I've been involved with the local community fundraising within Glenelg, and that's been very successful. And we're very proud now that we've got the whole team as a group to be able to donate from every store, which I think is very powerful.
Yeah, it really is amazing to see a whole community rallying around to support such a great cause. As a past patient at the Women's and Children's Hospital, I understand firsthand the importance of the support that you provide to TeamKids. So thank you so much, we really do appreciate it.
Oh, it's our pleasure. Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
And thanks to all the customers, to every single one of you that came in. Thank you.
She's busy building a music career, appearing at venues around Adelaide. And if the reaction to her first performance today is anything to go by, she's well and truly on her way. Here's Tara again to sing Listen, with Nelson Dubois on keyboards and backing vocals, percussionist Sam Miller, and music director and guitarist Robbie Pippin.
listen to the song here in my heart, a melody I've started but can't complete. Listen to the sound from deep within. It's only beginning to find release. Oh, the time has come for my dreams to be heard. They will not be pushed aside and turned into your own. All 'cause you won't listen. Listen, I am alone at a crossroads. I'm not at home in my own home, and I've tried and tried to say what's on my mind. You should have known, no. Now I'm done believing you. You don't know what I'm feeling. I'm more than a word you made of me. I followed the voice you gave to me, but now I've gotta find my own. You should have listened. There's someone here inside, someone I thought had died so long ago. Oh, I'm screaming out for my dreams to be heard. They will not be pushed aside or worse into your own. All 'cause you won't listen. Listen, I am alone at a crossroads. I'm not at home in my own home, and I've tried and tried to say what's on my mind. You should have known, no. Now I'm done believing you. You don't know what I'm feeling. I'm more than a word you made of me. Follow the voice you gave to me, but now I've gotta find my own. Listen, I am alone at a crossroads. I'm not at home in my own home, and I've tried and tried to say what's on my mind. You should have known, no. Now I'm done believing you. You don't know what I'm feeling. I'm more than a word you made of me. I followed the voice you gave to me. Now I've gotta find my own.
The Women's and Children's Hospital Foundation needs your help. Go to teamkidseasterappeal.org.au.
My name's Megan and I work on Cassia Ward at the Women's and Children's. Cassia Ward is a medical ward for patients age ranging from 1 to 12 years. We do get some patients outside those ages depending on how busy the hospital is, and it's mainly patients in for a long stay medical condition. I really love working with children. It's really exciting, challenging at times. I like working on Cassia. We see a lot of different types of patients with lots of different conditions. I like to build a relationship with the kids and their families. I think that's a really important part of nursing, and especially on Cassia Ward. I find nursing really exciting, very, very challenging at times, but it is a very rewarding job. I just find that Women's and Children's a great place to work. It's a really rewarding job being a nurse here. Very challenging, but really rewarding, and yeah, lovely working with the children.
Did you know? South Australia has the highest rate of the potentially life-threatening meningococcal disease in the country, and that 80% of all meningococcal infections in Australia are caused by the B strain. Currently, the only way to be protected from meningococcal B is to pay for immunisations through your GP. Children under 5 years of age and young adults aged 15 to 24 are most at risk. We spoke to Karen about her experience with her beautiful daughter Jenna, who unexpectedly contracted meningococcal when she was just 2 years old.
At the time when Jenna was sick, I knew she had a vaccine when she was 12 months of age for meningococcal, but I had no idea there was a lot of different strains out there, and I thought she was actually covered.
The problem with meningococcal disease is children and adolescents get sick very quickly with it, and you can become infected and then die within 24 hours.
Now she's all happy, isn't she? Do we give her a cuddle? I'm trying to be an advocate too for people to be aware that there is another vaccine out there on the private market for the B strain.
We have a meningococcal B vaccine available. It's available on the private market. It's not in a funded program.
We had no idea that was even around, and neither did our doctor, when Jenna was a baby either. So unfortunately we didn't take up the chance of having Jenna vaccinated.
Henry put it there? Immunisation is such a great public health strategy. I mean, it's one of the most important strategies over the last 100 years. The really exciting thing is we get this dual benefit from it. So if I am immunised with a vaccine, I'm protected as an individual. But not only am I protected, I'm protecting every person I come into contact with, because I don't carry the bug, I'm not infected with the bug, and therefore there is less chance of anyone that I come in contact with getting the infection from me.
The symptoms are very similar to just a normal cold or flu to start with, and just being a parent, I just trusted my instinct and thought I'd better check her, and sort of put up a pyjama top, and to my shock and horror, she was covered in a purple rash all over her tummy and down her back. Called the ambulance because we have cover, thankfully, so I suggested over the phone what had happened, and they didn't want to get me too panicked, but they'd send out a patrol straight away to come to our house. We didn't realise just how severe things were. Because she'd pulled through the first 24 hours, things were looking promising. But as each day progressed, after about a week, we could see her hands were turning purple and black and her fingers were shrivelling up.
There are 5 different strains of the meningococcal bacteria that cause disease in humans, and the 2 common strains in Australia have been the B and the C strain. In South Australia, the B strain accounts for about over 80% of cases. The research that we do is around making sure that vaccines are safe and effective for children. So these are new vaccines. Before they're available for the community, we do clinical trials of vaccines, looking at the safety and effectiveness. The second component is really around how we can improve the effectiveness of vaccines for certain groups in the population, such as children with immune deficiency conditions or children who have chronic medical conditions. Something that we've been working with TeamKids is having an immunisation clinic at the Women's and Children's Hospital. This is really important for children who have chronic medical conditions, who may be attending specialist care at the Women's and Children's, seeing their general practitioner perhaps less frequently, and therefore maybe missing out on opportunities to be immunised.
Hello, how are you?
Good, thanks. Yeah, all clear.
One of the main roles of the immunisation clinic and my role as clinical practice consultant is to revaccinate children that have finished their cancer treatment, and that might mean that they finished chemotherapy or post-stem cell transplant as well.
She was immunised at 6 weeks old, but then obviously because she had leukemia at 11 weeks, the chemotherapy kind of strips everything right back. I think there's a tiny little bit of immune still in there, but very, very little.
These children need to be re-immunised, and that may mean 10 to 20 needles, not at once, but over a period of maybe 2 years.
There's a large number of infectious diseases now that children can be protected against. We still see young babies dying from whooping cough who are too young to have had their own immunisations. So one of the strategies at the moment is to actually vaccinate pregnant women so that they have the protection that they can transfer to their unborn baby, and that protection continues when the baby's born until the time that they can start their own immunisations.
What is that one?
Shampoo, is it?
For her.
Yeah, you wash your hair then?
We've got great examples of where immunisation has pretty much eradicated an infection. And I just think, wouldn't it be wonderful in the next 10 years if we had no more admissions to the Women's and Children's Hospital for vaccine preventable diseases? Wouldn't it be great if we had no children admitted with whooping cough, no children dying from influenza or pneumonia or meningitis? And that's really an exciting future to think about.
I just use Jenna as an example of how resilient and strong a person can be. Look at what she's gone through and how she's overcome a lot of her challenges she's been presented with, and if anything, it's made her a lot more stronger and determined as an individual that, you know, she should be okay to deal with whatever happens in the future with her still.
Brian Condon grew up in Port Pirie. He's 90 years old and still lives there, just a few metres from his childhood home. Over the years, he's built a successful business and travelled the world. And today, he considers himself fortunate to be able to give back to support TeamKids. He joins us now for a quiet chat.
Born in the 1920s, it's just the start of the Depression. So the Depression, and that was very, very difficult times. There was a lot of people starving. It was really terrible. And we're just getting over that, and they come and have a world war. And I would say it was the late 50s before my life got back to what you'd call a normal life. From 1960s or about then up till now, we've been on good times. We're in the position to say, oh, well, we're comfortable now and we can look to helping others. I feel that if any one of us are in the position to make this life a little bit better, it's our duty. We should all do it. That's my ambition, to leave this world a little bit better place for me having been here. The Women and Children's Hospital has been one of the main charities that I have supported over many years. It was one of the early ones. I do mostly $1,000 donations. I always admired the work that they did down there. I do feel they know what they're doing, and all they need is support to do it. That is the reason why I like to contribute to the Women and Children's Hospital and to the TeamKids Foundation. And I would encourage everybody to consider that they do something for the future of our community, which is our women and our children. I always said, I can do the impossible. Miracles take just a little bit longer.
To support the Women's and Children's Hospital Foundation, go to the web address or call the number on the screen now.